Bangor, Maine to Honolulu. We welcome you to San Antonio. It's the Spurs and the Miami Heat here for the SBC Center. No Shaq tonight. All decked out in that suit. Had his first workout. Really wasn't a practice yesterday. Ran a little bit. Probably will not play Friday. They're expected to work out Saturday. Maybe Sunday or next Tuesday he'll return. So who is in the lineup? Alonzo Mourning logging some major minutes. James Posey and Udonis Haslem next to him. In the backcourt, Dwayne Wade, the leading scorer, and Jason Williams, now the point man. For the home team, Rasho Nesterovic. He's flanked by Tim Duncan and Bruce Bowen. And in the backcourt, there is Tony Parker, leading scorer, Manu Ginóbili. Also with us, Lisa Salters. And Lisa, I know you had a chance to talk to Zoe today.
Well, that's right. Alonzo Mourning told me earlier today that he thinks it's funny that all of these people are oohing and eyeing about the defensive presence that he has been for the Miami Heat with Shaquille O'Neal on the bench. He said, I think people have forgotten that this is what I normally do when I'm healthy. Still, Coach Stan Van Gundy says that he's concerned about the amount of minutes that Zoe's had to play with Shaq on the bench. Concerned that it's starting to take its toll on his body. But again, the good news for the Heat, as you said, Brent, Shaquille O'Neal did work out with the team yesterday. He could be back in the Heat lineup as early as Sunday.
Lisa, thank you. It's always a delight to talk to the big fella. Tom and I encountered him in the hallway. He's got a great sense of humor. He looked at Tom, one of his former teammates, Orlando, and said, "This is not a good team to come back against, big fella."
Sit over there on the side.
It's like those hitters when when the Roger Clemens of the world show up.
Yeah,
that groin just aches a little bit.
Clemensitis, Johnsonitis, one of those type deals.
Jimmy Clark, Tony Brothers, Ed Malloy will work tonight's game, and here we go. Tony Parker, Bowen handles the first time. Nesterovic comes out the screen. Duncan's now familiar with the left block over there, close to it. Ginóbili back. He missed a couple of games with an injury. Duncan flashes through and nails the first one.
Well, this team, the one word that describes the Spurs is efficient, both defensively and offensively. And offensively, they're first in the league in field goal percentage. Defensively, they're second in the league in field goal percentage against me. They do everything more efficiently, more often than their opponents. That's why they're NBA champs.
Williams has it knocked away and out of bounds. So it'll be Miami basketball with 8. And there is Greg Popovich. Went to school at the Air Force Academy, played there. Deflected. Nesterovic break out as Parker for the deuce.
Not going to catch that guy from behind. Now, in a game like this, when you're missing your big fella in Shaq, you also have to be efficient, but you also have to do things like commit less turnovers in the Spurs, make a few more three-pointers. You have to do things like that. You can't give them easy buckets.
It all starts at the defensive end with San Antonio. If you ever want to see a team where defense wins championship, you earn playing time for Popovich by being tough at the defensive end. He has always stressed that.
Nice pass.
Nesterovic flips to the corner. Here's the three off iron.
And not so much just about getting after your man, although you're responsible for your man. It's about understanding the scheme, helping on pick and rolls. Where are you supposed to be? On kick downs, where are you supposed to be? And if you make any mistakes, you have to play.
Pick and roll. Beautiful. Back to Duncan.
Kind of digging the new hair this year. Duncan got a little bit of the afro going. I kind of like that. I mean, I like any hair, to be honest with you. I could use when he gets a haircut, I'll see if he can save the clipping.
Mourning will put Miami on the board with emphasis. Well, the Spurs, Tom, 3 possessions and 3 field goals. They come back down. They're just so efficient. It is a team that's so good they're probably underrated by fans around the country. They're not flashy. Nope. Nesterovic plays it up and in. They go on about their business. You don't see them hot dogging. It's just a terrific franchise with great ties here in the San Antonio community. They do an awful lot for charity. They remind me a little bit of Pete Sampras, the former tennis player. They're so good we won't notice them until they're gone.
Well, I think they fit the community to a T, too. It's a blue-collar city, blue-collar team, not real flashy. No one needs the limelight, and they still manage to win basketball games.
They're putting it on Miami here in the early going, too. They've got an 8-2 lead. That's the way it's gone for them. They've won 4 games in a row off Duncan's hands. And Duncan is telling Parker, my fault. I let it get away from me. I should have had it.
You see Tony Parker there, though, doing a nice job, not settling for a jump shot, getting into the paint. We've seen a lot of that this year, and we'll see it tonight. Not settling, making sure he gets to the paint. If he can throw one of those teardrops, he will, or maybe find someone on a pick and roll. Good jump out by Ginóbili there.
Bowen has been all over Wade, as we expect. Wade dribbles past him this time and scores over Nesterovic.
Well, he's going to have to have a big game tonight for the Heat to be in this game. And he's a guy that can get it done. When he gets it going, he's a guy that can shoot the jump shot, continually getting better with there. We know what he can do when he takes it to the rack.
Set the pick and roll. Bowen, who shoots threes better than twos, has missed a couple of three balls here. Here's Posey for his defensive work. Of course, when Shaq gets back, in the starting five will get together. Mourning will be coming off. But tonight, Coach Stan Van Gundy told us he would have played Mourning and Shaquille together because the Spurs are so big. Ooh. And it's against Posey, pushing off on Ginóbili.
You know, sometimes when a guy gets up in your face and challenges you, and you don't have the quickness to get off of him, this is what you do. You get a little frustrated, you hit him with the elbow, knock him off you, and with the ref Jimmy Clark standing right there, the ball's going either way.
Duncan puts it down on Haslam, drops it for Nesterovic, who's camped underneath. The Spurs ball with 8 on the clock.
Watch the clock.
Out west, the San Antonio Spurs have gone past the Dallas Mavericks. The Mavericks broke out very quickly. I think the biggest surprise out west, I don't know if you agree with me, the Memphis Grizzlies.
Yeah, I mean, they're playing great. Well, I would say not Dallas' record isn't surprising. The way they're playing defense this year is surprising.
Ginóbili.
And that guy go to the hole with the best of them. And if this were like diving, he would get like 3.2 on every layup, because his layups are about as hard as they come, and he managed to get that left arm extended and then finish more often than not.
This is the three. Duncan off with the defensive rebound. Ginóbili fires a three at the other end.
He's probably still a little rusty with the bad ankle. Came back against Orlando a couple nights ago. Didn't play that well. Missed the previous 2 games because of the bad ankle. So I'm sure he's still trying to, find the, not necessarily the win, but when you miss a couple games, you miss your rhythm. And just watch right here. The fake gets Alonzo up. Another ball fake, and then around. And he always gets that great extension. So even if you're next to him when he's about to shoot the shot, you watch how he extends that left arm out there and make sure he gets space to flip that ball up.
Nesterovic picked up the personal foul that time, and this time it's Bowen. Wade going past him, and that's number 1 on Bruce Bowen. Talking about Bruce Bowen, really the only one-on-one defender that Coach Van Gundy compared him with was Ron Artest. Bowen plays very long, says he has great balance. He recovers. He's one of those few defensive players that you stage plays like that as Haslam comes out to screen, just like that play right there.
Well, a couple major differences between Bowen and Artest is, Bowen smaller than Artest. And to my recollection, I don't think Bruce Bowen has ever thought about applying for a job at Circuit City.
That's 3 Spurs fouls this trip now, and Duncan has 1, Bowen has 1, and of course Nesterovic picked up the first one, putting Wade on the free throw line. San Antonio up 6.
Well, Wade's a guy that will put pressure on you defensively because of his ability to now hit jump shots, and just he's a guy that gets to the rim and gets to the rim strong. And he's got a great little medium range crossover dribble and also a nice little floater from about 8-9 feet. So in guarding him, as good as Bruce Bowen is, it's still going to take the Spurs as a team to defend a guy of his talent.
The Spurs should stick with the 2-point shot. 5 of 5 there, and they've missed all 3 of their 3 balls.
Oh, they're due.
Ginóbili on the drive. Posey wrapping up the rebound. I just watch this San Antonio team defense, how difficult it is to get that good high percentage shot. There was a screen again from Haslam. Mourning with an offensive rebound. Comes up, and he dropped.
Well, without Alonzo right now, they would have no interior presence. And he's not giving them a lot of scoring, although he did have 17 against Clippers a couple nights ago. It's just his presence in the middle, rebounding offensively, rebounding defensively, changing shots like that right there.
Tapped by Duncan. No, Nesterovic couldn't get a handle on it, but there's a foul. And loose ball foul on Miami. That's the first on Udonis Haslem.
Alonzo's always been one of the more intimidating presence in the NBA. Just by virtue of the way he plays. I mean, he's a big guy. He's strong. I mean, elbows are swinging, snarling. I mean, he doesn't care. He's going to get in there and take care of his business on the interior. You see the minutes have risen by 17 minutes. That's good for the Miami Heat, although they'd like to keep it down, I'm sure.
Popovich inserted Michael Finley into the lineup, and then he called a timeout. He's got the brain trust out there. Leads the Heat by 4. Well, it's not the worst record in one city by a team that Miami has going against San Antonio, but it's one of the poorer records here. You can see Milwaukee hasn't had much luck in the Valley of the Sun, but Miami's record here at the Spurs, 1-17. In that only win back in '96, David Robinson suffered a broken foot. And I dare say that must have been the Vancouver Grizzlies. It's certainly not this year's edition.
Boy, anything north of Sacramento for the Grizzlies, just a horror show.
Isn't it though? Here's Dwayne Wade, the leading scorer on the Miami team, averaging 25.8, top 10 in the league, hitting 45% from the field. And facing a tough challenge tonight from Bruce Bowen.
But I think this type of game that Miami would like, a low-scoring, grinded-out game, keep the score relatively close, and then possibly have a chance to win in the fourth.
This is by Duncan. Stepped on the line, out of bounds. San Antonio basketball. James Posey was working on that inline, and because he had control of the ball, that is their fourth turnover already.
And that's key, because San Antonio only has one. What does that lead to? 4 more shots by San Antonio. You just can't give a team like that extra possessions, especially when you're already on the lower end of the stick as far as talent is concerned.
On a run, tap in by the Sterovich, and then you can see the 2 longs that are out there, why Van Gundy needs Shaq to be out there with Mourning against him. There was no size matchup.
Well, that's what happens when you go to the hoop. I mean, so many things happen when you go to the hoop. You get fouled, and that's one of them right there. You draw the other big guy over to help with the shot block, and it leaves the other big guy open for offensive rebounding opportunities.
There's a 5th turnover. Now here's Finley. Just a tremendous pickup.
Quickness.
He is a road runner. And the coach had said that he has played like this from the beginning of the season. That he is on an all-star pace this year.
I mean,
there was one.
Change of direction to go by Alonzo. Now, you expect Tony Parker to go by Alonzo Mourning, but the deke left and then back right, getting to the bucket and finishing. Yeah, I'm not a huge stat guy, but the one stat that just amazed me, and I think it speaks a lot about Tony Parker this year, is over the first 4 years of his career, he averaged about 196 three-point field goal attempts per season. This year he's on pace for 32 three-point field goal attempts. He's not settling, he's getting to the rim and creating.
What a great running jam by Wade. Shaq says flash. That was flashy, man. Oh, look at the big fella over there. He appreciates that. Where did that one come from?
Unfortunately for them, it only counts for 2, but it was a fun 2 to watch.
And now traveling is called on Tony Parker. Let's go back to this running dunk.
Watch where he takes off from. Splits the double, 1 foot outside, and goodness gracious.
You know, there are some great screens being set high by Miami, trying to free Dwayne Wade. And there, oh yeah, I think that was everybody's reaction in this building. Here he comes again. He gets a screen, pick and roll, gives it back to Haslem, and then gets it in return. They are working relentlessly on Bowen with the high screens here tonight. Backing down is Zoe, got Duncan up high, and drew the foul. And that's the second foul, I believe, on Tim Duncan. Yes, it is. Mourning doing a good job, and now Popovich will send Sterovich right back into the game.
As far as I'm concerned, you can't ball fake enough and you can't pump fake enough. Right there, pump fake, gets Duncan off balance. Now Alonzo does a real nice job of jumping into Tim Duncan and creating contact, and I'm sure that's what Tim Duncan's talking to Jimmy Clark about. But you get yourself off balance, and you're susceptible to those fouls.
You know, Mourning, he's got Shaq's disease. He's only hitting 53% of his free throws.
Well, if that were the case, Shaq would wish he had Alonzo's disease.
Well,
Shaq isn't mine 53%.
He's over 50% this year. Of course, it's only a game and a half. It's in the stats, kid. You will find it there. Come on, game and a half to Shaq.
You're right, 6 for 11.
There you go, see? I made him look at the notes.
Not a real big sample size.
Parker and Williams is on him. Williams fouls him, and let's set the lineups now because Antoine Walker is going to replace. So he'll be on the field. Posey is still out there. Haslam, Williams, and Wade. Finley, we told you. Ori is in. Nesterovic. Duncan sitting with 2 fouls. Parker and Bowen. So those are your 2 lineups right now. Duncan and Zoe are both out. Passed up his specialty, kicked the Bowen to the corner to Finley. There's a shot clock violation. And Bowen is mad at himself because he had to pull the trigger. He was the last one to throw the ball, and he had to recognize, he's a veteran, recognize when it's coming down.
Well, it'll be interesting to see who can get to the glass here, who can control the paint. Both have small teams. Coach Van Gundy able to take Alonzo Mourning out and insert Antoine Walker because Rasho Nesterovic is playing center for the Spurs, not a real dominant guy inside.
I think Bowen is being screened on every play up high. It's just relentless. If it's not Haslam, it was Mourning coming out. They're just grinding bodies on him all night long. It's really fascinating to watch, folks. Very seldom do you see a defensive player become that kind of a focal point that early in a game, but he's matched against Dwayne Wade, who's the #1 option here for they've just got to get him daylight. And Parker with that great speed comes in, kick now, Ori to the corner. Finley's 3, not there. Just hasn't quite found the touch yet, hasn't Tom, coming off the bench for Sanders?
No, it's a different role for him. He's used to starting, used to playing 40 minutes, and used to getting 15 to 18 shots. A different role here in San Antonio. It's going to be an adjustment period.
Ori blocked Antoine's shot. Wade is on the free throw line. He is working hard.
Are you kidding me?
Look at him.
I can't believe he just made that. It didn't count, but he was better than his dunk.
You know what? He doesn't even know it. He didn't even look.
Well, Rasho's got to cut the baseline off.
He does not even look. He throws this up. He hasn't turned around yet. He doesn't know what we saw.
Well, you know you got it going good when you can do that. But
and now that's 2 on Nesterovic.
Yeah, if you're Nesterovic and you're going to come over and double team, you got to assume that Bruce Bowen's going to take care of the perimeter going back out. You have to use the baseline as an extra defender. Put your foot over the baseline so he has to run into you or go out of bounds to go around you.
Now #2, Nazi Mohammed will let Nesterovic sit, and so Greg fighting a little bit of early foul trouble here with his 2 bigs, and so Nesterovic and Duncan, 2 fouls apiece, are over on the bench. Still San Antonio's got that lead. It's 5. We got 3:30 to go in the first. Dwayne Wade has 8 points. He has 8 of Miami's 10 points here. Job that has been done by the system to free him from Bowen, working so far.
Nice pass.
So Nazi couldn't put it away, and Michael Doliak, who is out for the Heat. So we've got Williams staying on the floor with this second unit. He and Wade. Guards stay out there. Doliak, he's got good range. He steps out now to help out. Wade again. Kicked now to Antoine Walker. Walker getting in low, missed it. Or he's knocked down. Pushing foul against the Heat.
He was on Dwayne Wade. Anytime you hold your hands up like you didn't do it, you did it.
Yeah, he doesn't complain at all. He just goes over. And that is Dwayne Wade's 2nd personal of the night. So we've got a tough game unfolding here in San Antonio, and we've got a timeout. The champions lead the Heat by 5, and let's take a look at your NBA calendar. TNT Thursday, Wizards Pacers at 8 Eastern, followed by Rockets Kings. That's on TNT. Then NBA TV Saturday, the Bulls Wizards, and that coverage will begin at 7 p.m. We see that Shannon Anderson has checked in, so both coaches with a little bit of early foul trouble. So let's say for the Spurs, we've got Parker stays on the floor with Ori, Nazir Muhammad, Finley is still there, Ginóbili is back on the floor, and for Miami, Jason Capono has checked in with Doliak, Walker, Williams have turned it over. Doliak picks it up, and Shannon Anderson. So both coaches going deep into their benches here with 2:30 to go.
And Jason Williams going to have to be a guy that creates for other people out here. He's the one guy on the court that can do that. Antoine Walker a little bit, but they're going to struggle. That's by Capono. Well, they could run some pick and rolls and stuff like that, but Jason Williams is the guy that can really break down the defense and create shots for other guys on that team. They really don't have a lot of guys on the court right now, so the last couple minutes of this quarter, it's going to be instrumental that he gets people shots or shots for himself.
Wade saw a shot of him over the bench, knocked away from Parker. So the last two trips, the Spurs have turned it over both times against this unit. Now Antoine backing down. He's been effective. Kick back outside. Doliak got good range, but off the front of the iron.
That's his game. Spot up, big guy, physical guy, but offensively, he's a spot up jump shooter.
Doliak battling Nazi on the inside. Parker has Williams on him. Now Ori over to Ginóbili. Touch pass Finley over in the corner. Capono sticks with him and then fires a jump shot in and out.
Good defense by Jason Capono, closing out but not getting up in the air and making Finley put the ball on the floor for a little tougher shot.
Walker is trying to get close to the rim tonight. He was 0 for 10, remember, the other night. Had a nightmare against the Clippers. Strip. Here comes Ginóbili. Kick now. Finley from the 2 points. Hits it from the wing.
Talking to Coach Popovich before the game, that's what he'd like to see him do. A little bit more. Go ahead and take a shot if you're open. He said, get back to playing a little bit like you're playing with Dallas. I said, Phoenix? He goes, no, not that much. I don't want to get that crazy. But just give yourself a little more freedom when you're out there.
So Doliak other side, so he's missed his 2. Here's Parker. Williams is back on him. Not deflected Doliak, and the Spurs are having trouble with this unit handling the ball. Williams going to try to press the rim. Left hand draws the foul on Ori. Shoots a pair of free throws. Good job by Williams.
Just speed in the backcourt, getting up court and getting a chance to get to the free throw line. He's going to have to help out tonight. Dwayne Wade going to have a big night, but also Jason Williams, I believe.
Let's check in with Lisa.
Well, Brent, throughout his career, Jason Williams has had a reputation of being a shoot-first point guard, but that's something he says he's never believed about himself. In fact, he says the biggest adjustment he's had to make with the Heat is becoming more of a shooter. He told me, I never really considered myself a good shooter before because I was always shooting off the dribble and was usually off balance. He says now, because the defense is almost always sagging off to help on Dwayne Wade, he says, I have all the time in the world to set up on the weak side and fire away.
You know, Lisa, I thought it was good for Jason to be coached by Hubie Brown. I thought that Hubie got a lot of those bad habits out of him. Just a terrific fundamental coach when he was there. Now, there's broadcaster with Al Michaels on ABC. But nobody knows basketball any better than Hubie Brown. And I thought he gave the young man some good guidance. The Heat and Pat Riley, they were not scared to tangle into it. He's long since shed that all-selfish team label. Jerry West, what a job he has done watching Jason remaking the Grizzlies. A lot of people wondered about the moves he made, but that's probably the general manager's job of the year so far with the Grizzlies are doing in a tough division. There was Jason, tap back with the left hand, good. Ginóbili at the other end with time running out, turns, fires, no. So Miami struggled early. Hung tough, and they trail it at the end of one, a low-scoring first quarter. Like Tommy T said, Miami Heat basketball. You know, folks, it's the holiday season, and these are the scenes we love to see. Manu Ginóbili and his teammates. There's Brent Berry. They went to the Christus Santa Rosa Children's Hospital They took these photos and they delivered gifts. You know how great that makes those children feel? What a wonderful, wonderful thing for the players around the NBA. And it's a great example of the relationship between the Spurs and this community. And overall, we see so many moments like that showing you how these fellas in the NBA, they really do care about these other people. Man, I mean so much to those kids. So here we go. And Gary Payton is out on the floor for the first time tonight. Averaged 7.3 points for Miami. Come up popping and hits his first field goal attempt.
It'll be big for them if he can get going, averaging around 7 points a game. Certainly not the scorer he once was, but usually with all superstar athletes, when they get towards the end of their career, they don't do it as consistently, but every so often they can come up with big games.
Nick Van Exel on the floor just touched the ball. Finley fires the three, and he just cannot find that touch. Probably a little more pressure on you when you come off the bench than when you know you're going to play 30 minutes. That's a great steal by Finley, and he's fouled by Anderson. So we opened the second here with Finley, Ginóbili, Van Exel, Ori, and Muhammad still on the floor for San Antonio. Mourning is back for the Heat. Capono stays out with Anderson, Antoine Walker, and Payton seeing his first minute. So both coaches have gone way deep into their bench here. And some of the stars, 2 fouls apiece. Tim Duncan and Dwayne Wade in the opening quarter. Finley hard, good jump pass. Van Exel misfiring.
Well, they're missing open shots, but give Miami credit for not letting them get to the rim, cutting them off and forcing them to pass it out, pass it across court, and settle for jump shots. They've only got to the free throw line one time, San Antonio has, in the first quarter in a couple minutes.
Walker trying to get to the rim, and the ball is kicked inadvertently by Capono, so the Spurs out of bounds. Tom, the long-range shooting is just failing these Spurs. They're 0 for 8. Really both teams are as cold as the weather. I mean, I have not seen the weather change as quickly as it did down here in Texas. I mean, it got flat nasty down here. You folks have got to be going out. You drive careful now. It's brutal.
I wouldn't know. I was sleeping.
Here's Finley, and he's fouled on the shot. Capono, is that what you mean? You took a day off from the radio show in San Francisco? You didn't, huh?
I get in at 4 o'clock in the morning. You don't think I just look this good, do you, when I get out of bed? I mean, for crying out loud. I can't get 3. I can't
fans up there in San Francisco. Where's Tommy T?
I can't get 3 hours of sleep and look this good. Are you kidding me? You get 7, 8 hours for crying out loud. I'm sure some people out there thinking you need about 20, my friend.
Here's Finley with the line, knocks it down, and San Antonio up by 2. And Payton, is he one of the league's all chatterbox team?
Oh yeah,
he never stops talking. When he comes on the floor.
Never stops. I mean, playing against him when I was with the Warriors and he was in Seattle, we played 6, 7 times a year, and he would non-stop. And then him and Timmy Hardaway. Oh yeah, you couldn't even get it. You can get a word in throughout the course of the game with those 2 guys going at it. I mean, forget about it.
They both give you a shave and a haircut. Oh. There's something. There's Payton coming up again. Is he 2 for 2? Yes, he is. Van Exel couldn't quite get there quickly enough. That's the defense that Popovich stresses. Is challenge the shooters. He thinks that holding teams to a low shooting percentage from the field is the most important stat. Not necessarily turnovers, low field goal percentage. Finley back Capono down. He's got a size advantage. What can he do in the post? Payton's down to double, so he fades baseline. Clean up underneath by Muhammad. He can't get it to fall. Lids on, folks. Lids on in San Antonio. Now Antoine, he's got Ori down there. Flashes to the paint, and good help by Ginóbili that time. San Antonio comes back.
I'm feeling someone's going to crack 20 sooner or later.
If you like defense, you've come to the right place, folks.
Or bad shooting. I think it's a combination of both, actually. And like I said, I'll give Miami some credit for forcing the outside shot. San Antonio's had some good looks. They just haven't made shots that they would normally make.
There's Greg Popovich. Fabulous job. Was an assistant under Don Nelson, later Larry Brown, and Tom will tell you what he learned from the 2 of them. Coach and Tommy had a little conversation about that tonight. So backing down on Muhammad. Too much hand checking.
I asked Coach Popovich, what'd you learn under Coach Don Nelson and what'd you learn under Larry Brown? I mean, you talk about two different coaches, Nelly an offensive coach and Larry Brown a defensive coach, or so it would appear, though Larry's more than just a defensive coach. He said, Nelly, I learned about NBA matchups, how to exploit certain matchups in the NBA game. He said Larry was more of a purist. It wasn't just about the NBA game. It was about how to play within the system, how to make your teammates better, how to help your teammates, not so much just about the NBA. He said that's what he took from those two great coaches.
Well, Antoine Walker has given Miami its first lead of the night, 20-19. Is he ever pleased to put a field goal down? That is his night, 1 for 4, and Tim Duncan quickly back on the floor, regains the advantage for the champs.
Oh, nice job by Tim Duncan. He knew that Alonzo knew that he likes that wing jump shot off the glass, so pump faked him not once but twice, got him leaning and got to the bucket. Nice strong kick.
Inside, outside, but it won't stay down for Capono, and here's Van Exel. Ginóbili on the attack.
He splits that double team as well as anybody. You have to make sure when you double team, you close that crack, because if you don't, he will split you, and then once he splits you, your defense is at a decided disadvantage.
Payton's turn. Nothing. Mohamed can't get in the fall.
Well, I think the Heat will live with that shot. And that's a shot he can make occasionally. But if that's a shot they want to take, I think the Heat will live with that one all night long.
The Heat calls a timeout. Let's go back on Tommy Tolbert's point here.
Watch him flip the double team. I mean, Antoine Walker jumps out. He just leaves too big a crack. And once he beats you, he makes a beeline. Alonzo up, soft, can't quite get it.
23-20, Spurs leading the Heat. All right, Matt, and here, 23-20, Spurs leading the Heat, 7:54 to go in the second quarter. You folks in Miami probably don't want to hear this, but the Florida Marlin executives traveled to San Antonio to take a look at it as a possible landing place for South Florida's baseball team. But folks, here's the good news. The baseball stadium in the city seats only 6,000 right now. They're going to have to build one fast, okay? And I think that Wayne Huizenga might be the angel down south with that land close to Dolphin Stadium if they can get something to go down there. But they were touring here in San Antonio where the Saints are practicing, of course. And the 3 ball is hit by Capono.
That's all right. $6 grand more than they get at Marlin games anyways.
Be nice now.
He just like Jason Capono hit a jump shot. He's definitely a guy that when you rotate to, you better make sure you make him put the ball on the ground. Very quick release and a very good shooter when he gets his feet set.
Brent Berry back there, and Nazir Muhammad looked good on that. So Barry Bowen is back because Dwayne Wade has returned. So as soon as Wade checks back in, so too does Bowen. Payton and Van Exel stay. That's been a matchup. Wade putting it down, goes up over Bowen off the glass. Advantage tonight, Wade against Bowen so far. That is 10 points for Miami's leading scorer. The game within the game between those two. Duncan kicks out the Van Exel. Gets it back. Up over Haslam, and he uses the glass just like Wade did at the other end.
Loves the glass, and you know, bigger body than you think. And Haslam just kind of bounced off him when he dribbled the ball to his left and then was able to softly kiss it off the glass.
Wade ran Bowen through a screen, gets him screened a second time. Gets it back. Bowen's knocked it loose, and Haslam's up with a loose ball. We got 2 on the shot. Capono's got to fire. He tried.
We see that time Brent Berry ran out at Jason Capono and made him put the ball on the floor. Didn't let him just shoot it. And you saw the results much different.
Berry flashes to the top. Capono. Jason Capono looks like he can play a little bit of defense, Tom.
No, nice pass.
Duncan all alone, no answer.
If you're fronting the postman on the strong side and the weak side postman comes up to the free throw line, you know all you have to do is reverse it, drop it down, because there's no help by the bucket. That's exactly what they did.
Yeah, absolutely no help. Wade misses off the glass on the other side now. Dan Exel guns the three. Rattles out. And there's a loose ball foul. Take a look at these last two hoops here.
It's a nice job right there. You see, just Haslam not big enough to stay with him. And then this one, Muhammad just flashes to the high post, and there is nobody down there to help, in an easy bucket for Tim Duncan.
And we've got a timeout.
ESPN's presentation of NBA Wednesday, brought to you by Dodge. You can take life as it comes, or you can grab life by the horns. Dodge. And Sirius Satellite Radio. The best way to hear up to 40 games of the hottest NBA action each week is on Sirius.
Now, not this timeout, but one previous to this, Stan Van Gundy put his finger on a problem. Listen to the coach talking to his team.
We've got to get down and contain the ball. Everything is to the paint, everything. We're so worried about their shooting. We're not in the gaps. Everybody's going, but it starts with you got to contain the ball. Come on, guys, the ball's down there, and we got lucky on some misses.
Now, the Spurs are shooting 39% against Van Gundy's defense right now, but that bench for San Antonio is only 2 of 12. Finley and Muhammad are 2 of 10 off the bench. So Berry has been out there trying it.
Now, what Van Gundy was talking about was on drives, get in the gaps, cut off the driving lanes, make them pitch out and shoot perimeter jump shots.
Haslam and one. Duncan's field goal counts. The big fundamental. Nothing
you can do there. I mean, that's just a good offensive move. Once again, pump fakes him, gets him up in the air, and once you're up in the air, you're vulnerable to the foul. And good players, especially good scorers, once you're up in the air, they'll make sure they get body contact to at least get themselves to the free throw line and then try to convert a three-point play.
Since coming back in with the 2 personal fouls, Duncan is perfect, and he's also shooting free throws better this year. That's not good news for the rest of the league. He's hitting 77% of his free throws this season, and the coach said we don't tell him a thing. He works on his own, and there have been times when he's missed at the end of the third, made them all in the fourth, so a much more effective free throw shooter this season. Wade on a good pump fake, gets inside Bone, but Berry is there. Berry picks it, bounce pass down to Parker, back to Bruce, left-handed layup, score. It all started at the defensive end.
Miami needs a bucket. This game's starting to get away from a little bit, and if the scoring gets up, they're not going to be able to stay with San Antonio.
There's that tough San Antonio D again, Tommy. They're just as good as anybody in the league that defended. This is a 9-0 run.
Well, they've been able to turn their defense into offense. Tim Duncan's hit a couple shots, got to the free throw line. Then Tony Parker to Bruce Bowen on the break.
It would be a pleasure to watch this team every week, wouldn't it? Are you kidding me? To be a fan of this team, they play basketball the way it should be played. We got a 20-second timeout. How good are these guys? They don't get enough credit, man. They are something to watch.
Well, we talked about the defense turning into offense. Right there, Dwayne Wade is caught up in the air. Brent Berry does a nice job of getting it ahead to Tony Parker, not taking it himself, and then switching over to Bruce Bowen, and then the pick and roll. Where is the weak side help? A little late.
That's why they're going to be tough again this year. Well, coming up on the Toyota halftime show, Matt Weiner, Greg Anthony, and Tim Legler in the studio. Kobe's night, fantastic finish in Philly, and Shaq's impact. Those are the themes on the halftime show. Tonight, looking pretty sharp over there on the bench. Probably another couple of games before he comes back. He wants to make sure he's perfectly healthy, so the ligaments are fine. Now he's got to get himself back into game shape. The Spurs have opened up some daylight here, Tom.
Defensively, they've just been in lockdown mode, and Miami hasn't been able to get a good shot up.
Hold on, this is the three.
Well, I think when you talk about what is Shaq's impact, we know what Shaq can do down on a low block. I mean, he's a dominating guy, but his biggest impact is he draws double teams. He makes it easier for everybody else on the court to get wide open looks. Haslam gets those open 14, 15 footers. Dwayne Wade has more room to work as far as driving the basketball. Everybody's job is made easier by the fact that the big fella is out on the court. That's what they miss.
That was the second foul on Bowen, and that shot ends the 11-0 run by the Spurs. Parker's cut off, and Barry bends the three. Tim Duncan up over the top of Haslam. He schooled Haslam on that rebound. Nice. Penetrating inside, outside. Bowen's spot, and he missed it again. Warning saves it, puts it into Haslam's hands.
Yeah, that was just, I know it's a missed shot, but amazing by Tony Parker.
Great pass by Williams. Wade wrap around, no. The Heat lost their rhythm. Trying to get it back. San Antonio's missed on his last two trips down. It'll be Heat basketball, but they've been knocked out of their rhythm by this tough Spur defense. 2:44 to go. Low scoring first half at San Antonio. 36-27. Can the Heat rally? We'll find out. Remember when we said that Dwayne Wade was doing well against Bruce Bowen? Well, it has started to turn. Wade is only 3 of 8. Tommy?
Well, look what Tim Duncan does here. Look at Udonis Haslam. You can't front him that far away from the bucket because all you have to do is Van Exel clears the side when Barry has the ball. Muhammad comes up and sucks up Alonzo Mourning with him. Once that happens, he just spins. There is no help low. Wade can't get there quick enough to say, okay, I've had enough of the front. He lane play behind him. Duncan, big guy, establishes position, little pump fake, kiss off the glass, and get to the free throw line. Hey, basically what it amounts to is when you guard him, you need help.
Well, the best win percentage over the last 9 years since Duncan arrived in the NBA. The Spurs, of course. Denver, Red Wings, and hockey, and the Yankees. Your Duncan effect, Mr. Porter.
Does that have anything to do with the butterfly effect? With Ashton Kutcher?
Might.
Who knows? I do know one thing. He better start scoring. Paid for about a 60-point game.
Williams got himself to the free throw line. Duncan in that first quarter was 2 of 5. 2 fouls in the second quarter. So far, he's been 5 of 6 from the field for 11 points.
Well, think about San Antonio. That's just amazing over the past 4, 5, 6 years, whatever the case may be. But you saw the way they beat Phoenix last year in the playoffs. I mean, Phoenix wanted to get up and down and score 110, 115 points. And San Antonio played that way. They took their opportunities. They weren't out there just going crazy, but they can beat you scoring 115 points. They can also beat you scoring 75 points. I mean, they are a defensive team, but they don't need to keep the scores in the 80s to win basketball games. They can do it both ways.
Parker comes down with Ginóbili, Duncan, Horry, and Barry. 2:20 left here in the first half. Haslam with his hands full, size and everything else against him. Ginóbili nails the 3 ball, and that for San Antonio is their first 3 of the night. 1 of 12.
Well, we said the only way to guard Tim Duncan is to help. Well, that's what happens when you help. You leave someone open.
Turnover. Parker. Beep, beep.
That's the danger part, the last minute 45 here. You want to at least be here. I mean, 12 is not a horrible position to be in. It's not great, but you don't want it to get to 15, 16 to where it's insurmountable.
I think they're going to get Ginóbili. They are. Manu cannot believe this foul call.
Well, that would make him unlike any other NBA player.
You don't see a lot of complaining because Coach Popovich doesn't stand for it. No whining, no begging. I didn't think that was a foul at all.
No. But we talked to him about that before the game. He had up on his board, no begging. I asked him what that meant. He said, no begging. I don't want people begging from the officials. I'm begging from their teammates. Go out there. Basically, it's philosophy, and it's a lot more complicated than this. But be accountable. Be accountable for yourself. Don't ask for help. Don't expect any help. Take care of what you have to take care of inside of our team philosophy.
This team plays with class, Tom. Yeah, this is from the ownership down to the front office, the coach to the assistants over there and the players on this team. It is a pleasure to watch a group of professional athletes behave the way this team does on the field. Ginóbili coming right down the baseline.
No fear, man. No fear. He doesn't care who's under there protecting the bucket. He's going to take it right at you. To the Heat tonight, 10 field goals. Boy, more turnovers than field goals.
Hasn't going to make that shot. They left him wide open.
Nice.
Hit Ginóbili on the run.
Stan Van Gundy wants a charge.
It was close. It was very, very close. 11 for Ginóbili. And Wade is
nice job by
very, very quiet. Fires the air ball. The Spurs have put on a clinic here in the second quarter.
That was a real nice job by Robert Ory last time. It just, the awareness of being able to step in. This is the offensive play right here where Coach Van Gundy wanted the offensive foul. I like the no call there. I fall more on the side of calling blocks instead of charges, just because I think it can be dangerous when guys are stepping in right at the bucket. But I like the fact that was a no call and there's a play on. You make him go right. And then back
slices through left hand.
Oh, he comes right back there. You got to make him continue right. A lot easier said than done. That guy is tricky around the bucket and strong.
You don't like Miami's body language right now. Manu Ginobili's put up 8 points in the last 140. Anderson's three. And it goes over to San Antonio with 8.4. They'll get the last shot.
They kind of left him, didn't they?
Yes, they did.
It was right there. They hit the afterburners, and it was done.
They turned that defense up a notch. Bing, bang, boom.
4, 3, 2.
Ory, the buzzer. Off the iron. A 17-point advantage, and remember, at one point, Wade and the Heat had taken a 1-point lead, and San Antonio closes out the first half with a 22-5 run. And let's go to Lisa with Manu Ginóbili.
Manu, in the second quarter, you guys went on an 11-0 run. What was going right during that run?
Well, overall, we played great. I think we moved the ball very well. Even though we started with 0 from 8 on the three-point line, and most of them were open shots. So defensively, we were there. We were collapsing on Dwayne Wade a lot, making him take tough shots. So I think overall it's a great job.
13 points for you in the half. You got some layups there at the end. How were you able to break free there for those quickies?
I think it was just a great moment in those last 3 minutes where I could make a three, a couple transition points, so my confidence went up.
All right, good luck the second half.
All right, Lisa. And the Spurs go 10 deep in the first half. Only one of his countrymen, Oberto, along with Udrich, did not play. And a reminder now, Kobe's night, fantastic finish in Philly, and Shaq's impact coming up on the Toyota halftime report. So let us head back to the studio now and join Matt. Take it away, Matt. San Antonio. The champion Spurs lead Miami 47-30. The last 7 minutes of the half. Tom Tolbert, the Spurs go on a 22-5 run. They shot 67% from the field, and a young man from Argentina, he's got a future.
You think he's not bad?
Not too bad.
He's all right. The amazing thing about him is you know what he's going to do. He's just so good. You can't stop him. And this is the guy who gets to the rim continually on just about everybody. See right there, pump fake, ball fake, get to the rim. Split the double team. Whoop, you're not going to get that one. Little pump fake again. Lonzo's coming. No biggie. I gotcha. And then on the fast break, did he run over Haslam? Who cares? He got the bucket. And then once again, double team there a little bit too late, splitting it and getting back to his left hand. Once he gets back to his left hand, doesn't matter who's coming over to block it, he'll manage just to get it over your outstretched arms and drop it in.
Let's check in with Lisa Salter. Lisa?
Well, guys, it's exactly as you said. Assistant coach Bob McAdoo said that the problem for the Heat is that they're allowing the Spurs to get all the way to the rim. They pointed out 32 points in the paint. They said they've just got to contain the ball and to keep it out of the paint so the Spurs aren't getting such easy shots. On offense, they said they've just got to get the ball to the weak side because the Spurs are able to load up on Dwayne Wade. They've got to pass the ball around, get the ball to the weak side so they can get some good looks.
And Lisa, the top 4 teams in the West, well, 3 of them at the top, the Spurs, Dallas, and Memphis all play in the Southwest. Can't overlook what the Los Angeles Clippers have done so far. They lead that division, and you would probably anoint them the team of the early season with such a surprise and a turnaround. And the Miami Heat started out this road trip with 2 wins. Then they lost a couple, most recently against the Clippers. And here they are now, trailing San Antonio, and Posey guns the 3-ball.
Well, that's how you can get back into it. Getting some 3-pointers, forcing some turnovers. I really think Jason Williams, who was only 1 for 5 in the first half, has got to get going. He's second on the team in scoring at over 15 points a game. He's got to find a way to get it going.
Layups for the Stars.
They've done that 4 or 5 times now. Or a pick and roll, and the guy will, kind of do a little banana cut down to the baseline, and then the weak side help is just too late getting there.
Picks his dribble up against Parker. Bowens on Wade. And a forearm is thrown, and that on Bowen is number 3. So here are our scoring leaders. Wade with 11, and Duncan with 15. Of course, Ginóbili with the 13. He ended the first half, Monty, did on a personal 6-0 run against the Heat.
Well, even Wade getting those 11 points is only 3 for 9 shooting, so not very efficient.
At the buzzer, Jason Williams nails the 3-ball. So they've hit back-to-back 3 balls. And like Tom said, that's a way to cut into it.
If you can get option 3, not only is that, obviously you get 3 points a field goal attempt, but it stretches the D, and then it opens other things up for your offense.
You can't find the 3 range. And Bowen, like I said earlier, he shoots 3s better than he does 2. 53% from 3-point range and 47 from 2. Parker and 1. He's a star.
Well, his ability, you watch him, not only does he beat guys off the dribble, but once he gets to the paint, he still is ridiculously quick. I mean, watch it right here, and then watch when he gets to the middle. Whoop! It's around 2 more guys to get to the rim, draw the foul, and finish. I think maybe the only other guy that his size that gets to the rim better than he does more consistently is Allen Iverson. It was just amazing at getting to the rim, getting to the free throw line, but he's incredible inside the paint.
Chip Engelland has been hired as an assistant coach to work on Parker's free throw shooting, if nothing else, shooting only 66%. It's probably his lone weakness.
Look at that. And points in the paint, 234 for a point guard. I think a 6-foot point guard. Maybe a little taller than that. I'll give him a little more credit. It's a point guard leading points in the paint. That shows you how ridiculously quick he is.
Posey will take it out for Van Gundy underneath. Wade sticks right with it, not there. Taps it away from Parker. Loads Zoe. Straight.
Regardless whether Bruce Bowen scores or not, it never affects his defense.
Duncan on the pass from Parker. Posey's 3, and he's hit 2 here in the second half. A sloppy pass by Parker that time. Wade's in the middle. Tap no. 2 opportunities.
That's a foul, Eddie.
You're the chaser on the road. You can't let those get away from you. Parker's hit. Posey got away with one. 2-on-1, crowd knows it. Mourning comes inside. No. Duncan. Well, Miami has missed some opportunities. The last 2 trips, they could have cut into this margin. Starovich is fouled. He'll shoot free throws.
He must have got all ball when Tony Parker came to the middle, because it certainly looked like he got fouled. Posey,
You think?
that's not a foul. I'm not really sure what is. Wow. Tony Parker talking to Jimmy Clark a little bit. Saying, you know what, I don't know how you guys missed it, but I'm sure Hugh Evans, not even here, probably saw it somewhere. Got a twinge in the back of the neck. Someone just got fouled somewhere.
Tony's still just shaking his head.
Well, that one was inexplicable.
It's like quarterback getting hit a couple of seconds after the ball's released. What a potential fellas situation like that. He brings it to the attack. 8:23 left here in the third. So turns on to Starovich. Great move and missed it. Puts it back in, misses again. And Ginóbili saves it.
That's about 3 gimmies they've missed.
Parker cut off by Wade. Wade held his ground well on the speedy one that time.
I had to give him a medal for cutting him off. Not easy to do.
Great save by Parker on the high pass. 5 on the shot now. Goes baseline behind the back to Duncan. 3 on the shot. Duncan knows it. Tried to kiss the glass, and that's a violation. It did not hit iron. Right baseline.
Yeah, those are his shots. Those are shots that he's spaced out 10 to 12 feet away. Gets a lot of those when Shaq's playing and he gets double teamed, but he's a guy that's not going to create a lot on his own, but he's an opportunistic scorer.
Trying to make it 16, can't. But Tim Duncan is there with the offensive rebound.
Well, it's tough enough when you're playing San Antonio at their place and you're down double digits. You gotta be able to stop them once, make sure you get the ball back.
Parker and Ginóbili attack. Duncan misses the open shot. Starovich up in the air. Loose ball foul on Starovich. Number 4 on Rusho, and Robert Horry is up.
And we talked about Jason Williams getting in the game and being more of a scorer playmaker than Dwayne Wade this quarter. All of the field goals for a been assisted by Dwayne Wade, which almost matches the first half, where they only had 5 assists.
Foul is called.
And that's what San Antonio, that's a stat that doesn't get mentioned a lot, but they're always well below the league average in giving up assists, meaning they take teams out of their offense, make you beat them one-on-one. Tonight they only allowed 5 assists in the first half to Miami. On the season, they only allow a team 16 assists per game when the league average is right around 20-21.
That's the third foul hour. Goliak on the floor. On with Williams. Wade has him in posing for the Heat. Goliak steps out at the buzzer and knocks it down a 2.
Now they're starting to hit some shots. Has some jumper. Goliak jumper. Got a couple threes from Posey. One from Williams. Starting to find a little rhythm offensively. Now it's about defensively being able to stop them.
7 by 12. Ginóbili on a run. Duncan helps Bowen out that time, and they're sealed up number 3. Duncan's got Goliak on him. Now doubled late by Williams. Pick up Parker. Here's Wade, puts it down loose. And it's Parker's got it back behind Goliak. Slides inside.
That might be a flagrant.
Parker still down.
He went up, and I think it was Goliak that wrapped his hand around Tony Parker's head.
The crowd just saw it on the replay board. That's the reaction.
Yeah.
Yes, he did. Got it right around the neck. The little man's taking a beating. We'll see if he's all right when we come back. Well, Michael Goliak is gone. This is a flagrant foul 2, and it's unnecessary and excessive contact committed by a player against an opponent. Unsportsmanlike act, and the offender is ejected immediately. It's an NBA rule. Flagrant 2 right there.
Well, certainly he was a flagrant foul in the fact that he went up above the shoulders. I don't think he meant to hurt him. It wasn't intentional. He was just trying to grab some part of Tony Parker's body to keep him from score. You could tell he really couldn't see what he was doing, but anytime you start going up around the head, the guy's in the air, it's dangerous. You want to keep that from happening, and that's why Michael Goliak will spend the rest of this game in the locker room.
Now it'll be a couple of shots for the Spurs, and they will get the basketball back.
And he was ejected because it was a flagrant 2. You can get a flagrant 1 and not be ejected, but a flagrant 2 is automatic ejection.
And Stan is probably arguing that particular point. He said it's a 1. I think I read his lips. He said that's a flagrant 1. Parker got pushed down, and no foul was called a little bit earlier in this quarter.
But we could say he was owed something.
Oh, yeah. Makes both. Spurs ball out of bounds. Let's see what Wade's reaction was like during that break.
He may have been upset when he was dribbling the ball. I think he may have thought he got fouled.
Duncan is up foul by Haslam. Well, one of the things is Bruce Bowen has really put a saddle on him here. He's missed his last 7 shots. So Wade started out, and now the vice is closed in, man. And he's a pain in the, you know what, I would not want Bruce Bowen defending me at any time. It comes in every practice, 45 minutes prior to the start of practice, working on something. Let's check in with Lisa.
Well, Brent, as you saw, Dwayne Wade visibly upset during that last timeout. Stan Van Gundy just trying to keep his team composed. He told him that the mental toughness starts right now. Let's play 17 good minutes. At that time, there's about 5 minutes left to go in half, or in that quarter. He said 17 good, hard minutes, and we've all got to rebound. Just trying to keep his team in this.
Yeah, Lisa, they're down 16, 5:13 to go in the third. They trail by 3 early in the second quarter, and since then, the Spurs have really taken over. Hunter by Walker is not there. He's ice cold again. Wade saves it. With the Walker screen, Duncan picks up Wade. Foul is going to be called on the drive by Dwayne Wade. That's on Duncan. Remember, he had 2 very early in the game, and Duncan just picked up number 3.
Well, we talk about, Bruce Bowen, and he is a tremendous defender, but you watch the team. The team defensive concept is always there. I mean, it's not just Bruce Bowen. Bruce Bowen's always around. He's hounding Dwayne Wade. He's got his arms in, making shots tough. But when he gets beat on the screen and roll, you just saw Robert Horry. He stepped over and helped. I've seen Tim Duncan step over and help. I mean, they're just a complete team defensively. You see his defensive prowess. He's only one of 3 guys the last 5 years being the all-defensive team, and rightfully so. And he goes out there and works at his craft every single game.
The one thing the Detroit Pistons and the rest of the East have to be mindful of, and one, the Pistons will not have forgotten where Game 7 of the Finals was a year ago, or I should say earlier this season. And Game 7 home court advantage. You would not want to give that to these guys.
Now, you saw the arm right there. Udonis Haslem's like, oh, wait a minute. You can't extend the elbow and wrap it around me and chicken wing me.
Sitting with 4.
But theoretically, you're not supposed to put the elbow out. If you're Tim Duncan, a lot of those rules don't apply. To me and you, that'd been an offensive foul. But for Tim, it's go to the free throw line and get 3-point play.
Like the 10-minute strike zone.
Yeah, exactly. Shaq's another guy that can get away with that stuff.
Wade, the jump shot. 26 in the third. Finley back on the floor now for San Antonio with Parker, Duncan, Horry, and Bowen. Williams chases Parker, comes around Mourning, and 1. He's a magician.
It's just that little extra burst around the bucket where you think you have him, and then he just squirts away. And does a real nice job, I might add, of keeping his body between the defender and the basket, and goes up far enough away from the basket to where he can extend the ball forward and you can't come over his back and block the shot. But he is tricky around the rim.
That's the 4th on so.
Robert.
See right there, Robert Horry switching out.
Williams 3. No, into Finley's hands. Parker run the floor again. Got out ahead of Finley, takes it on the dribble, kicks now. Here's Bowen, he'll try it again. Finally, his specialty, knocks down the 3 ball, and he's now 1 for 5. Antoine misses a 3.
Now going back to the Clipper game, Antoine Walker's maybe 1 out of his last 17 shots. I got to imagine confidence isn't at the all-time high right now.
Crowd is enjoying the Tony Parker show this quarter. Horry fouled Antoine Walker. He'll shoot a pair of free throws. Well, Antoine's had trouble with the 3 ball. Can he nail the free throws? We're about to find out.
ESPN's presentation of NBA Wednesday, brought to you by Kia Motors. Kia, the power to surprise.
67-47, biggest lead of the night by the Spurs. You go back through recent history, and you will see that this organization has always picked up spare parts. Parker, Bowen, and Steven Jackson, 2001-02 season. Then after that, it was Ginóbili. Claxton did a great job as a backup point guard, and of course, Kevin Willis. Then 3 and 4 was Ori, Nesterovic, Turkoglu. And of course, last year, Brent Berry, Muhammad, and big dog Glenn Robinson. And now this season, Finley, Van Exel, and Alberto. So when Coach Popovich talks about the entire organization willing to go out and do what they have to do, that it comes from the top. And there's one of the recent additions, Van Exel. So Popovich is backed by ownership, willing to take on somebody's contract like Finley's. And they scout these players. They just do a superb job with this organization. And you see Sean Elliott, who works local television and radio over there behind Popovich, former colleague of ours, former great player. And of course, there he is right there with the headset on. There's Sean, and of course, he can certainly identify Tom with the problems of Alonzo Mourning, having received a kidney himself. And Sean, he told me he shakes his head in amazement at what Alonzo has been able to accomplish with his endurance and his stamina coming back.
I don't know what Sean was talking about over there, but I know he's full of it. I'm not sure what he's saying. You know what's great about the Spurs, though? Let's look at the starting lineup here. Bowen, undrafted. Duncan, of course, first player drafted. Racho, middle of the first round. Tony Parker, end of the first round. Manu, second rounder. I mean, you're not talking about a team full of top 10 picks, All-Americans, superstars. They've managed to pick up players late in the first round, second round, undrafted free agents, and fit it into the team system. Pretty incredible stuff.
They were one of the first teams to mine European talent, and they have done it worldwide. This is truly an international team. Even Tim Duncan, grew up in the Virgin Islands before he went to Wake Forest. Of course, they won him in a ping pong battle, and Antoine can't get it to fall. And one is Alonzo is fouled. And the coach Popovich graduated from the Air Force Academy. He had a degree in Soviet studies. He can speak Russian. He scouted Eastern Europe. He said there was so much talent over there. His biggest task was just trying to get them over to the United States. He saw fundamentally sound basketball players, and that has contributed in no small part to the success of this team. When you think of Parker from France, Ginóbili, and now his countryman is out there. Fabricio Fabricio. He played on that Olympic. I'll get this right. Let me stick with it. He's out there, number 7, Alberto. So we get a little look at him. He was on the gold medal winning team and turns it over with that errant pass.
And the first time I saw him was in Indianapolis. I want to say, was it 4 years ago? When they were the first team to beat the U.S. team in international competitions. They went to the Dream Team. Oh, there we go.
Ron Walker puts it down.
He's been really struggling. Yeah, like 2 for his last 19. So any bucket at that point is a good bucket.
Finley from deep, and that's a 2.
Yeah, Miami trying to go with a little bit of a zone, and Finley's the one guy in this team. Ginóbili can shoot from the outside, and Parker a little bit as well, but Finley's the one guy that he can light you up from out there.
Payton working with Wade up over Ginóbili, and that's a 2.
Well, when you think back to the European players coming over, the first one, Drazen Petrovic with the New Jersey Nets, was a tremendous player, but I played with one of the first ones that came over, Šarūnas Marčiulionis from Lithuania, and Coach Popovich was an assistant at Golden State when he played there. Nice shot by Nesterovic, pass by Alberto. So I'm sure he saw that talent, and Šarūnas was a guy who was, a very good NBA player. And from that point on, he was there with Donnie Nelson, who's now with the Mavericks, and they made a point of scouting European players because there is a lot of talent over there, and now we can see it.
Walker, I've always been amused, Tom. They said that soccer would come to the United States. But the opposite happened in effect. We sent basketball around the world, and that is in some ways more of an international game because basketball is so big in the United States, and now you see it worldwide.
I think what the NBA needs to look into, and I think this would be great for the sport, is I think now we have enough good international players that maybe it'd be cool on All-Star Weekend to have the internationals versus the American team.
Yeah, that would be fun.
That'd be kind of fun.
Idea.
Yeah, a little bit different.
Yeah, it would be.
Not if it'll ever be done, but you know, you put Yao Ming out there, Nowitzki, Nash, Ginóbili, a lot of good players out there.
Maybe when they come to Vegas, they could do that.
Well, I don't care. I'll be there. We all? What are you going to make the Americans 8.5?
Open to the baseline, and Wade able to put it away. 71-59. The final seconds tick away here in the third quarter. Lead looks comfortable now, and San Antonio has not lost a game in which they have taken the lead going into the money quarter. That's not good news for the Heat, folks. Welcome back to San Antonio. The Heat closed out on a 12-4 run. We take a look at our Chevrolet game track, and in the paint with Ginóbili and Parker leading the way and Duncan contributing. It has been all San Antonio. Dwayne Wade firing away with 19, but he's had to work very hard. He's 6 of 15 for the field. And Tim Duncan, a double-double, leads the league in that category. Has another one here tonight, 20 and 10. And he stays on the floor with Van Exel, Finley, Nesterovic, and Ginóbili. And Wayne Simeon is going to have his hands full. The rookie from Miami has checked in. He's going to take Nesterovic, Walker, Capono, Wade, and Payton. So Walker's got Duncan. Simeon's got Nesterovic. You talk about having your hands full. Finley on the outside misses. And here's Payton. So we'll see how those two matchups unfold.
Well, an important first couple minutes for Miami. He managed to whittle a 20-point deficit into a 12-point deficit. Now, can they hold the first 2 or 3 minutes, or does San Antonio re-extend?
To the corner. Capono guns the three. Missed it into Van Exel's hands.
Those are the shots you want him taking. Suck in the defense, stand behind the three-point line, catch and shoot. I'm surprised they're not just jamming the ball into Duncan here with Antoine Walker guarding him.
And Nesterovic wants it down low too on Simeon. Ginóbili left him alone.
You got to guard the ball. Can't worry about cutters and guys spotting up for jump shots.
By Nesterovic. Walker will put it down on the drive, throw it up. He'll shoot a pair of free throws. And that's the second on Manu.
It's just an odd-looking shot. He's going to throw it up from the waist. Kind of a little, I don't even know what that was.
Yeah, he's not comfortable, is he?
No, I think when you are used to getting the amount of shots he's gotten over his career, even though you tell yourself, I just want to come here and win, you want to do all the right things, and even if you do the right things, it's still tough to find out what's my rhythm. You know, what is my rhythm? Where do I fit in on this team? When you're getting 20 shots a game, you know where you fit in. They're going to when they need buckets. You're dependent upon to score. They call plays for you. When they don't do that, you got to find out where you fit on a team. It's not like you're not willing to find out. It's just, you struggle to find your place.
Blue pass Wade. Maybe on the free throw line. And Payton is very dangerously close to getting a technical in this game. So Ginóbili steps to the line. He's been barking pretty good at the officials out there. And let's remind you that TNT tomorrow night, Washington at Indiana, followed by Houston at Sacramento. The coverage begins at 8. And then NBA TV on Saturday, Chicago's at Washington, and that coverage begins at 7 p.m.
We'll see if they get Dwayne Wade with the ball now. Maybe set him a couple of screens, pick and rolls. See if he can create for himself or get somebody on a little slip.
Back to Simeon.
Nice. Great convert those. Look out. Oh my, fade.
He's got some moves, hasn't he? Antoine kick it off now to Wade, and Wade is fouled. He'll shoot a pair of free throws. That's on Ginóbili.
I was about to say the one thing you gotta like about Wade until I stopped myself and said, well, there's only about 20 things you gotta like about Dwayne Wade, but I love the fact that he gets to the free throw line 7 times a game, 8 times a game, 10 times a game. I mean, a lot of guys who are scorers are willing to take the easy way out and shoot jump shots and shoot floaters. He's a guy that's not afraid of contact, and certainly, he's got a build to go in there and take some punishment, but he will get you, consistently between 8 and 10 free throws a game.
And shoots 74% at the free throw line. If there is a weakness, it would be in the long-range bombing of Dwayne Wade. That's really not his specialty, and that's something that Miami may need down the stretch is a couple of 3-ball wizards.
See if they go high-low. Yep.
Duncan on the line.
Well, you can see that one coming. Rasho Nesterovic saw it, and all he did is all they're doing is coming up high when they're trying to front Tim Duncan. And I think once Tim Duncan sees they're fronting him, watch him front. He's going to come across the lane. He's playing behind. Now Tim Duncan just moves him up the lane, right about there. Move him up, top, seal him, high-low. Perfect execution.
And Gundy shows that opportunity to do a little coaching with Simeon down low. Gets the roll. As far as I told you, this is an improved part of his game. He used to struggle mightily, especially through the years as I've watched him. But he misses early. It used to really trouble Duncan at the free throw line. This is by far the best he has shot this year so far. Wade saves it and rifles the ball back, and Simeon runs it down. Difference is 13. Still workable. No whistle. Picked up by Simeon. Good jump hook from the right baseline for the rookie. So whatever Van Gundy told him was pretty good, huh? I think he was stretching defense over there. Ginóbili comes through. Gotta stop him. He splits him again.
I think first and foremost, when you're guarding him, he's so good at anticipating that second man coming into the play that he knows when to split that double team. And Coach Van Gundy's like, what do you do? What do you do? I mean, he sees it coming.
Let's check in with Lisa.
Well, by looking at Manu Ginóbili, you couldn't tell that he got a bone bruise on his right ankle back on November 29th. He missed a couple of games. He did play on Monday. I asked him how it feels. He said some moves it's hard for him to do, like taking long steps with his right foot. Like I said, it's hard for you to tell watching.
Yeah, for sure. And Antoine Walker steps out, nails a three, 79-68. Plenty of time left here. It's interesting that Van Gundy sticking with this lineup right now against the big fellas. Finley, it's a 2. Miami can't trade. So watching Gundy telling us before the game that he'd like to cut down those minutes, but without Shaq, very difficult to do. But he said had shown signs of wear and tear on this road trip. Simeon misfiring. After helping out with a double team, gets back, locks out, pulls down the defensive rebound. A couple things coach are going to like, but Walker loses it. And now it's off Duncan, he gives it back. So it will be Miami ball when we come back.
Duncan, you think I got the big fella? I got the center. Clear this. Oh, no. Oh, it's fast break time going the other way. Here we go. Better go behind the ball. Oh, come on.
Behind the back passes, definitely not the big fundamental specialty. Timeout. Well, a reminder, vote now. Go to NBA.com and cast your ballot for the 2006 All-Star Game in Houston. Be some battles in the West. Shaq, of course, no doubt, make the East, even though he hasn't played on reputation. But how about the guard battle out here? Tony Parker, a candidate. Kobe Bryant, Steve Nash. You can't overlook him. How about Baron Davis with the Warriors? What a difference he's made.
I'll tell you what, having watched that team, and then take nothing away from Baron Davis, because I think he's the biggest reason they are where they are. But if you want to go on play alone, Jason Richardson certainly deserves to be on that All-Star team for the first 15, 20 games of the season. I mean, he has played fantastic basketball for the Warriors this year.
Well, here's Payton with Antoine Walker. Duncan's out on Wade, and a little pushing foul is called, and
I think Wade's saying, you're lucky that was in. You don't want any piece of me. Tim Duncan out there guarding him.
little lead back.
Yes.
Well, maybe, but that's number 4 on Duncan. 81-68, 7.5 minutes. Robert Oriole checking. Manu with a nice ball fake. The pass to Manu, hit it, down to 11. Miami, though, they've got to have stops. Simeon stays on the floor, so he's getting some major minutes in the 4th quarter. Duncan can't hit it. Walker's there for the rebound. Let's see if they can put together a field goal. Walker's going to press the issue. Right there into Duncan's head.
That's about 8 points they've left on the rim this half. Just right there.
8 missed layups, we're told, this half. You were right on the number. Starovich misses. Ball out of bounds. San Antonio with 6:45 to go.
If you're Miami right now, you got a winnable number for San Antonio, but I mean, you're just a couple buckets away right now from making this game 6-7 points. And that's, if you can get to that point, you maybe get San Antonio starting to think, wait a minute, this is a 20-point game. How did this get down to 7? Oh, geez. Whoops.
And Ori misses it, and now it's Wade's turn at the other end for the layup. And here's one of them. They have cut it down. Single digits now. They move to within 9 at 6:27. Wade or the Miami bench. That's what it's been. They're leading him back.
Well, Miami's playing with house money right now. They're down 20 points. They're expecting, everybody's expecting them to get blown out. They're going to lose this game. Nice spin.
And on the free throw line, Tim Duncan.
Speaking of house money, Tim Duncan's some of the best insurance you can have, isn't he?
Yes, indeed.
Get the ball down to him. Antoine Walker can't handle him down on the block. And Simeon comes over a little late. Get the bucket. I mean, that's Tim Duncan's a great player through all 4 quarters, but when you have the superstars, Tim Duncan, Kobe, Shaq, LeBron, Dwayne Wade, you can go on and name maybe 10 others. That's when they earn their money. At the end of the game, when the other team's on a run, you need to stop that run. You need to get a bucket, either a good look for yourself or a good look for your teammate. Get to the free throw line. That's when they come up big.
Down. 6:10 to go. Alonzo back on the floor. 24 points tonight for Duncan. Capono gets inside Barry. Tap back. Duncan battling Mourning. Tap back out now. Barry picks it up and gives it to Parker.
I just clear out and let him go.
2-man game, and Parker hit iron. He's on Walker, left hand, no.
Another layup. They just can't finish at the rim this half. 11.
Bowen from the corner is his second three of the half. From Eagle corner. 5:14 to go. The one shot you cannot give Bruce Bowen is the three. Parker saw him. No one over there. That's 10 assists for Tony Parker.
ESPN's presentation of NBA Wednesday, brought to you by Chevrolet and American Revolution. And Cisco, changing the way people work, live, play, and learn. Innovation powered by Cisco.
The trip to San Antonio has not been friendly for the Miami Heat. They trailed this one by 15, 87-72. Let's take you back. December 23rd, 1996. Pat Riley on the bench for Miami. Keep an eye on the spot shadow. David Robinson. He was battling for position. He comes up limping. He left the game. Fracture of the fifth metatarsal of the left foot. He missed the final 58 games. On the way to Alonzo Mourning. Mourning led the team that night with 32 points. And that was the only Heat win in this city. And they're about to go to 1-18. However, with David Robinson missing 58 games into the lottery, moved San Antonio. And they edged out the Boston Celtics and wound up with you-know-who. One Tim Duncan. And you go back to that night and you think what might have been in the NBA if Robinson had stayed healthy for those final 58 games. Those little things that alter history of sports. And Duncan, of course, everybody's first choice coming out of Wake Forest, elected to stay in school for all 4 years. Came out so fundamentally sound, just one of the best and most unassuming superstars that we have seen in professional sport in a long, long time. Elected to stay here. I know he's going to become a free agent again in a couple of years. I wouldn't bet against him not staying right here.
I think he likes the city. I think he likes the team. And more so than anything, I think he likes playing for Coach Popovich.
I agree. They won 3 championships with him. Barry tries to control it. Look out, loose on the floor. And Miami up with it.
The Keystone Cops.
Off iron. Boy, San Antonio just can't handle it right now. Out there and off Ori, out of bounds. Miami basketball again at 4:09. 87-75. Down 12. Certainly still a ball game. And, Miami's had some pretty good production off of some of these fellas off the bench here in the fourth quarter. They're rather interesting, the lineups. And stepping back outside is Haslam with Alonzo Mourning again watching on the Miami bench.
Well, now it's about getting a stop.
Loose.
They've been able to get to the 10, the 9, the 11. Can they dig a little bit deeper than that?
In and out into Capono's hands. He's been active. Payton has stayed at the point.
A small lineup. Everybody on this lineup right now can shoot perimeter jump shots. So you got to be able to stretch the defense and see if they want a way to take advantage of that.
Blocking foul. It's on Robert Horry. And that, we believe, is his 6th foul, and Robert Horry has fouled out with Zoe watching.
Now, this is the jump shooting team from Miami. You got Capono, Wade, Payton, Haslam, and Walker. You got guys that can draw, guys that can kick, and I would expect pick and roll involving Wade, having guys space out and see if you can get guys open for jump shots. Conversely, for San Antonio, you look at this lineup and you say, how can they guard Tim Duncan? Can Walker guard Tim Duncan? Can Haslam guard Tim Duncan? You know, we got to get the ball to Tim Duncan and let him work down low, make them double, and then feed off him. But everybody's got a problem with an official, don't they?
Smile on Norrie's face. He's fouled out. Down to 10. This could become a single-digit game, so we'll take a break. Can the Miami comeback continue? We'll find out. And here it's 87-77 with 3:29 to go in the fourth. A reminder that Friday night ESPN has a doubleheader at 7:30 Eastern. The New Jersey Nets take on King James, the Cleveland Cavaliers. And that's available in high definition on ESPN HD. Then at 10, the Knicks attempt to slow down Steve Nash and those high-flying Phoenix Suns. Coverage begins at 7 Eastern with the Kia NBA shoot-around pregame show with all the answers. This road trip will come to an end with this game. Winning in Atlanta and out west of Sacramento, then losing up in Denver and to the Clippers. And this game 5 and then back to Miami they will go. They'll get in early tomorrow morning. And Shaquille O'Neal hopes to work out when he returns back home. And he probably very questionable for Friday night's game. Lonzo has been watching most of the fourth quarter, was in briefly. He's had to log major minutes with Shaq out. Wade cuts it down now. So it's single digits again. And for Wade, he has 27 points here tonight. Tim Duncan is high for San Antonio with 24. Ginóbili has 22. Antoine Walker, believe it or not, is second high for Miami right now with 10, even though he's only 3 of 14 from the floor, 3 of 4 from the free throw line. So Miami has given themselves a chance here with 3:29 to go. The Spurs once led it by 20 over the last minute 30. The Heat on a 7-0 run. So Spurs seem to flatten out a little bit. Finley's on the floor with Ginóbili, Duncan, Parker, Bowen handling the ball. Here's Ginóbili on the attack. Kick back outside. Here's Bowen. Knocks the 2 down.
Well, that's what happens when you pay so much attention to Tim Duncan. Haslam guarding and Walker coming over for help. So you're going to have guys that are open. You just have to make shots.
San Antonio favored by 8, up by 10. Capono in, out. Duncan tries to save it. Does. Here to Ginóbili. The pull-up Jay. He'll shoot free throws. Payton's called for the foul.
You see Duncan getting up for the rebound. This time just jumped just a little bit, but able to keep his foot from the end line. Throwing it far enough down the court where the only player who can get it is Ginóbili.
Ginóbili misses the free throw. At the time that save gives Duncan 15 rebounds here tonight.
Typical Tim Duncan effort.
Yeah, isn't that the truth?
It's not flashy, and you look at him, you go, hey, he's playing great tonight, really? 27 and 14, 25 and 13.
Haslam got the roll. Now they need stops. Back to within 9.
2.5 left now. San Antonio, the clock, their friend. We'll see if they use it or not.
Turn it over. Give it right back. Here comes Parker.
A nice job by Parker. Using the clock, pulling it back out. And that's where they want to go.
Take it down inside of 2 minutes if they can. Bad pass.
Yeah, and Parker on the wing. That should have been the pass.
Now the final 2 minutes of regulation. Wade outgunning. And Bowen called for the foul. I think he said he stepped on him. Let's see how he defended him. Wade is down. That's number 5 on Bowen. And
I didn't see
Wade
it.
in pain.
Did he come down on his foot?
I think that's what the trainer now has rushed out. I don't think the bench realized that he was down either for a time. Let's
see right
coming
here.
up. Stepped on it.
Yeah,
he stepped on the foot.
I don't think I've ever seen that be a foul. Have you?
No, I
mean, you step on a guy's foot and sprain your ankle if you get the foul call?
And that was what Bowen was protesting immediately. That he came down.
Well, I know Tony Brothers was saying that he got up underneath him, and when he give him room to come down, I don't know. That
didn't look like he tried to body into him, did
he? Didn't. He was trying to get his hand up to
let's take another look. Let's watch the bottom of Bowen. See what he does here.
He's trying to get his hand up to affect the shot. Turns around. That's no foul. That's not a foul. Well, I'm sorry. I mean, he has right to go up and try and block the shot.
Interesting little moment, huh?
Yeah.
I could see that Bowen said it was nothing intentional. I didn't think it was. I thought he just turned and sort of inadvertently stepped on it.
Well, and also, you know, when Wade follows through with his jump shot, he's coming forward a little bit. That's just a weird call.
Now it's 8. Make this one, it'll be a 7. There it is, now down to 7. Wade a touch gimpy as he goes back down the floor.
Well, you know they're going to try to get the ball to Tim Duncan. At some point, they will double. We'll see if maybe Duncan comes up for the high screen roll. There he comes.
Parker keeps the dribble, kicks Finley, corner. Cross court to Ginóbili. Ginóbili attacks Wade. That's a turnover. He traveled. And Miami now can ease even closer with a minute and a half. Down 7. Let's check in quickly with Lisa.
Guys, on that last play, athletic trainer Ron Culp said that Dwayne Wade suffered from a cramp in his leg. That's why during that timeout they gave him a bottle of Gatorade, which he chugged down, was able to stay in the game.
All right, so that would explain why he went down over there in pain. The Spurs are struggling here offensively. Turned it over 3 straight times. Ginóbili splits the D for the layup. There he is again. Like a hot knife through butter, huh? Wade back with his left hand. Misses, gets it back, and he's knocked down. Loose ball. Foul, he'll shoot.
A nice job attacking the glass by Dwayne Wade. But talking about attacking the glass, Wade up. You're not going to get that through you, through Haslam, through everybody, and the ball through the hole. And then Wade does a nice job going to the middle, sneaking back out to the baseline, missing, but getting his rebound, and Ginóbili in the back.
Points for Dwayne Wade. Missed that free throw. Great ones find a way to score. He's had a struggle against Bruce Bowen here tonight, but he's had a 30-point game, and clearly Zoe just worn down and before the shot. Tony must have seen something like a funk or something.
I think win or lose, and it certainly looks like the Heat are going to go down.
He's checking the clock. So he saw something at the far end, and that's why he blew that whistle.
Stan Van Gundy's got to be happy with the way his team responded in the second half, especially when you go down 20 points. And this team has battled and played hard and got after it. But we all know they're not the team they're going to be with a healthy Shaquille O'Neal. But 5th game of a 5-game road trip to battle back, being down 20 points, that says something about your squad.
31-point night for Wade. Got the final minute. And Ginóbili is coming up to shoot free throws with the margin at 8. Here comes Manu. 10-point difference right now. 94-84. 57 seconds left. Though clearly worn down on this road trip. I'm out. Ten-point margin. Both teams have a timeout. We're down to the last 57 seconds of this one. Wade and Manu with a dozen points apiece this quarter.
You know, we always talk about the stats with Tim Duncan, but being a superstar, look at the little things he does. Look where he is. He's the last man at that end of the court. It's a fast break. Who's back for the Spurs? Your little guys? No, Tim Duncan, your superstar, big man, hustling down to get the rebound. Ball's on the floor. Who's on the court? 8th, 9th guy? No, your superstar, Tim Duncan. And who's getting a rebound, flying out of bounds, saving toward the other end? Your superstar, Tim Duncan. Believe me, when role players see the superstar doing the little things, you can't help but feel like you better do it too. You're going to be held accountable. You may catch the wrath of the coach, because if your superstar can do it, certainly everybody can, and he does it.
Wade guns a three, in and out. Into Duncan's hands, and he'll come up to the free throw line. Well, certainly the Mario Lemieux story is going to be at the very top of SportsCenter coming up, and we certainly hope that that headline I saw about his heart, that's okay. Scott Van Pelt and Susie Colbert will be along. They'll tell us about that, and also AI or Kobe, and his Roger Clemens career over, his Hall of Fame career, I might add, and we'll see. Those stories coming up just as soon as we finish here. And now Beno Udrih checks in for the Spurs, and Manu Ginóbili will sit. Ginóbili winding up with 27 for the game.
For Miami, it's just all about, you know, at the end of the season, having guys on the same page. You got a lot of new guys this year, and most importantly, getting Shaq back and healthy. I mean, if he's healthy, once he's back, you're our playoff contender. If Shaq is not back and not healthy, the only way they're going to the NBA Finals is to go to NBA.com and purchase some tickets, or maybe call up Mike Tyson, see if he has something.
Antoine Nisbet has them, and held ball, and underneath, margin at 12, 31 final seconds, ticking away. You know, I've seen Antoine miss a lot of threes, but it's been these missed layups, and he has contributed. That the Heat overall as a team, they've missed 13 underneath the rim, and that's just a stunning number in the NBA. 31 seconds to go here.
Well, a lot of those coming when the lead was down to 9, 8, exactly. 11. You had a chance to push in, get it down to 7-6 with 3.5 minutes left to go, and they just couldn't do it. They pushed the backbreakers.
Got it on the 8. And final seconds, and Duncan will go for the layup. And now San Antonio putting him away. Up by 14, this baby's over. Everything's going to count for, ladies and gentlemen. You can bring down a book, and the San Antonio Spurs will go to 15-3, best record in the NBA. They will have won 10 of their last 11. They are now 8-1 at home. They have won 5 in a row, and there is no reason not to make them the odds-on favorite to win back-to-back NBA championships. This is a good-looking basketball team. They flatten out a little bit. And like Tom said, wait for the Heat to get Shaq back, and they'll be a different team. And amen to that. Shaq's still perhaps a game or two away. So remember, SportsCenter is coming up next. 98-84 is our final score. The San Antonio Spurs beat the Miami Heat. So long, everybody.